What up, fish people? Kenny E, the awesome Chattanooga, and then this guy right here. You might know this guy from around town. This is Mr. Fantastic Freaks, Mr. Austin himself, coming up. Now, of course, I've been trying all year to get Mr. Austin up here with us. And what week does he pick? Happens to be a very huge game this week between the Pack and the Vikings. That's the week he comes up to say hello.
Ironic, right?
Wow.
Funny how that works.
Oh,
I
man.
didn't even know.
So, Mr. Ed, how have you been, sir?
You've been swell.
You got any
Yeah,
his team
interesting
is doing
project
just as
you're
well
working
as-
on?
Well, yes, I last night I started a deal with Shelby from Garden of Eater, and we're making shrimps. So I made these shrimps, and she made shrimps. And next week she's going to come back on, and we're going to make escape for our shrimp to live in.
Oh, no kidding. That'd be cool.
That was a lot of fun having Shelby on the show. I hit 1 million views. That was
You did?
cool. Yeah. I've got over 1 million views.
That's awesome, actually.
I wish I had $1 for every view.
You will.
Only because I see you scroll here in the chat yet for you, Kenny. I'm going to only do this one time on stream and one time only. So to any Viking fans out there, get a clip of it now because this is the only time you're going to see me do it. And this guy, that guy, is the only guy I'm ever going to do this for.
Oh, there it is. Oh.
And
Well,
that
that was-
one, there you go. It's out of here.
That was really nice.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
Now, we got Andy Newton in the chat. Andy is a good friend of mine from the club. You guys might have better known him if you were at the ACA this year. He was the comedian in the hospitality room. The one night that was in the, and he also helped with the Babes auction, was dressed as the woman, the guy with the hairy chest. And like, was he wearing a mini skirt? I can't remember.
Oh, I remember that guy.
That's
He's hard
Andy.
to forget.
Oh, check it
Right.
out. There is the president of Sacramento Aquarium Society, Mr. Travis Myers, in the house. Oh, excuse me. Soon to be president. I think he doesn't start until next month or the month after. But welcome, Travis. And Travis, I don't know if Luke got a hold of you this week. I had one of the folks from my channel reached out to me. I guess they bought some of your angels at Fishtoberfest and they want some more. So I'll get you in touch with them. I guess when we were exchanging numbers that night, I must have forgot to save yours. I had Luke's, but I didn't find you in my phone. So I need your contact information. Booty short and hairy chest. Booty shorts. That's what he says he was in. Booty shorts and hairy chest.
Austin had about the same type of record as every single person that's been on this show this year. He had a tough year. Everybody,
I'm
I'm tough
we've-
too. I'm tough. I mean,
I know.
I'm fighting this week to. I mean, if I go through the next 2 weeks of crap, I might hit 5th place. So
Austin's
Fifth
projected to
place.
win
Shoot.
this week.
I'm second
He
to
needs
last.
to win
My
twice.
team right now, my team this year sucks.
Yeah, but Kenny's third to last.
Well, and he's still ahead of me.
Yeah, but you know,
Right.
it's a Viking thing.
yeah.
So,
I mean,
So
I'm
what-
in two
what
teams,
do you-
It's
but
just a
I'm-
weird year.
What do
Yeah,
you guys think about Raiders benching Carr?
I
Overdue.
think it was stupid. It was smart in one aspect because how his contracts wrote, if he gets hurt in the next 2 games, he's guaranteed for 2 more years. This way, if he leaves the season healthy, they can trade or cut him. And everybody down here in Atlanta is like drooling over him because Carr, yeah, he's not a super quarterback, and that division is filled with super quarterbacks. Well, not really. Half of them are really good and half are terrible, but he's still not god awful. I mean, he's a lot better than having,
Kirk
gosh,
Cousins.
what's Kirk? Well, I don't know about that, but that quarterback that they got in in Atlanta now. He's Tennessee's old guy, Oregon
Mariota.
player. Mariota. Yeah, Marcus Mariota
See,
is horrible.
oh, hey. The Packer fans fine now. Don't get upset because you saw that green hat.
Oh, this ain't a Packer hat though.
Oh, that's a Corey hat. Okay.
Yeah, this is a Murphy hat.
Look at her. She's like, what in the world is my dad losing his mind? Letting the Packer fan.
She's probably barking at the jersey though. She probably also smells the Lambo on it. This was a custom jersey I actually had made in Lambo actually. When we went
Nice.
to watch none other than the Green Bay Packers play the Vikings.
Wow.
I've been
Who won?
once to Lambeau to watch that. But that was the year
Who
you
won
guys
that game?
went to the Super Bowl.
Green Bay did, and I will say, quite frankly, we froze our arses off. I mean, it was a Sunday night football game in January, so I mean,
Yeah,
they're
they're gonna be
there.
they're gonna be freezing this time up there too. For
Well,
our
it was
game.
like 10 degrees when they kicked off, and we were there for the other one, and that wasn't including wind chill. So
yeah, and it's
It
right
was
out the
cool.
lake, so I mean, you're talking some wind chill.
yeah, I mean,
I
they're literally,
respect
yeah.
I respect any team that goes without a dome. Because I think if you gotta wear skirts when you're watching your football game, I don't know. It's hard for me to cheer for them. Just saying.
Ed, you, I
Jesus.
guaranteed, would freeze your gonads off if they didn't have a dome in Minnesota. Plus, I'll tell you something. Everybody,
They don't have a dome in
all
Buffalo.
the NFL teams live for the opportunity to host a Super Bowl. I don't care the amount of money that a city makes when a Super Bowl is brought to it. I mean, that's the main money. That's what you got to look at. You don't see too many people say, let's have a Super Bowl in Green Bay.
They need to suck it up and play it in the snow.
Yeah,
No part of
outdoor
football.
stadium. I mean, there was an ice bowl at one time, but then they
Yeah.
figured out this doesn't work. Let's make the Super Bowl someplace warm every year, you know?
Remember, I'm thinking back to Super Bowl I. And yes, the stinking Green Bay Packers won the game, but it was in an open field Arrowhead
That's true.
against my Chiefs. But luckily, the Chiefs redeemed themselves 3 years later when they beat the Vikings.
Why I knew you were going to take it there. I'm telling you, Ed, this year, I want it to go down just like this. I want to beat Dallas first, then go over to Philly, beat them, and I want your freaking Chiefs for the Super Bowl. I want redemption, and I want to see them against the Chiefs.
Me too. Oh, gosh, please let
Well,
that
we'll make a
happen.
pact right now. If it happens, I don't care what we have to sell, what we have to give up, but you and I are going to be at that game together. We have to do it.
You
Gosh.
think the Vikings are getting to the Super Bowl?
Hey, man, we're having a pretty brother. Have you not been watching? We're kind of a whacked out team this year. You know what I'm saying? How do you go down 33-0 at the half and come back and win 39-36? This team's got magic.
I was about to say this team has voodoo or something, but but I mean, yeah, I watched that game. That game was crazy. So I mean, tip the cap to you guys on that one. That one, I'm not even a Viking fan. That one was
Oh, man,
fun to
dude,
watch.
I went from mad to angry to crying to giddiness. I mean, it was all the emotions in one game.
Oh, you sounded like me in that Miami game. We get down 10. I'm contemplating like how much of this do I want to watch before I start getting frustrated. And then they start coming back, and then Tua starts giving gifts out more than Santa Claus himself in that game. I mean, it's not it's nowhere near the same exponent of a comeback, but yeah, I feel you.
Oh, Jimmy P says, nah, sorry, Kenny, that ain't happening.
Oh, I can tell you right now, there are two NFC teams I would definitely favorite over the Vikings. And no, one is not the Packers. The Niners and the Eagles. Regardless if the Niners get the 2 or the 3, they're hot at the right time, and they look scary.
I don't think inexperienced rookie quarterback going into these playoffs is a good thing. It ain't favorable in most cases. I get he did, but it's different game when you get into playoff football. It's just
That's true.
And if you're, I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, he's kind of a rarity. This guy's quarterback, he was kind of a rarity. But most rookies don't play like that, you know?
I will admit that if Green Bay does not go to the Super Bowl, and they very likely won't, I would say that the Niners, as much as I despise them for last year and years past, only because I'm an Iowa State fan, I would love to see Brock Purdy and the Niners make a run.
See, I'm a Hawkeye guy.
I think the Eagles also are covering. I think Hurts is hurt a lot worse than what they're saying. I really do. Have you guys watched the I watched it in slow-mo. I watched it. I mean, that dude, I promise you that shoulder is separated, most likely with cartilage tear. I really, truly, from what I saw, bodies aren't designed for a 350-pound man to roll you on top of you, then take its gut,
and just
grind that baby even more. I think he's got a separated shoulder. I don't think he'll be around for the playoffs. I really don't. But we'll see if they. But the good news is they got what's his face up there. I mean, at least you got a decent backup. Oh, what's his name? That Jacksonville kid. What was that kid's name?
Minshew.
Minshew.
And he's used to throwing the ball. He used to be like in the old air raid scheme with Mike Leach at Washington State. That guy can sling it.
Who do you got this week, Ed?
Oh, the incredible Broncos. The very scary Broncos.
They might score 10 points.
Yeah, man. You know who's smiling right now is Seattle. They're like, oh, we got their first round draft pick.
They beat him in week 1. They got the better record.
Geno Smith's playing decent ball.
We'll see how that goes next year.
Both teams.
I mean, at the same time for Geno, I'm like, you also have Tyler Lockett, Noah Fant, who's a solid tight end, and DK Metcalf. You better at least play respectable. You got arguably top 10 receivers in the league.
You heard it here first, but I think that's going to be your landing spot for Carr.
I see it.
Seattle?
I think he'd thrive with Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll would bring the best of them. Hey,
come on, Ed, where's yours, man?
Yeah.
Oh, now we got a debate about that, Kenny.
And what's sad is Ed's in our generation. How in the heck is he drinking Pepsi?
Looked like, or was that wild cherry Pepsi?
It's wild cherry Pepsi.
Okay, you get a pass on that one. That's actually not bad.
I love wild cherry Pepsi.
Regular Pepsi, not a big fan, but wild cherry Pepsi isn't terrible.
Well, I think 3 teams that Carr could go to. Of course Seattle, but Indianapolis is dying for a quarterback. I mean, they're pathetic. How
he'd be good. He'd be a good spot.
And Atlanta,
yes, too.
Another one nobody's talking about is New Orleans.
Oh,
I will say I really like the Atlanta one.
Or how about this? I know nobody wants to hear this. Tampa Bay.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Brady should have stayed retired. Maybe I'm just tired of seeing him win rings, but dang it, the man should have stayed retired.
Well, now he's going to stay a few more years because he's already divorced, so nobody's going to be nagging about it no more. So he'll probably go 2 more years now.
And if they keep letting him cheat, why not?
He's almost got to go out like Peyton Manning did, where he's going to need
Lumpy Dog saying we're all drinking poison in a can.
Now, okay, Austin, you're a sports writer.
Yep.
And you know how sports writers are so hard on baseball players that cheat. I mean, they say, no, you can't go to the Hall of Fame, and they don't even vote for him or anything. But yet, the same writers absolutely love a proven 4-time cheater of Tom Brady. Can you explain that? I mean, they would drink his sweat if they could.
I agree. And see, I don't get it either. See me, like, for the baseball thing, like, see me personally, like, everybody wants to rag on, like, Barry Bonds and such. And at that point, that year, like, in that time frame, it's like, oh, give me a break. Over half the damn league was having Roy.
And you know what? It was, a lot more fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not wrong. But, I mean, Tom Brady, yeah, it's the same thing. It's also why it's like, I'm sorry, I can't call him the GOAT. I can't. And I know everyone's like, well, what? You think Aaron Rodgers? No, I don't think him either. I mean, I'll talk about the GOAT thing with me. But I mean, yeah, at the same time with me, it's like, okay, you have Spygate, you got Deflategate, and those are just a couple of things that happen there. I mean, just it's like we want, as you said, we talk about baseball and all that. So what makes him immune to this?
Or is it this now?
It's 7.
There's why.
Yeah, he won 6 with the Patriots, and then
He
his
didn't
first
get
year at
that.
Tampa Bay,
He didn't
got
get
one.
that many from cheating his whole life, Ed. I mean, 7 rings.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. the Spygate
And 2 of
lasted
the
for
3
decades or for years, literally years.
Yeah.
And then, like, they actually had a fake reporter in a closed practice in Cincinnati, watching the worst football team in the league, writing their plays down, and they caught him. How many other places did they do this? You know, so everything that they do is so cheap in New England. I have no respect for Belichick. I don't have any respect for any of them. Vrabel, the quarterback for Tennessee, you know, he was a Chief for a while. I love the guy, but I have no respect for any of his wins. He cheated them all.
I mean, even if he didn't cheat, I mean, 2 or 3 of them more. I mean, he barely even won himself there. It was I mean, like that other one, like his last one, the Patriots there, that one was won by like everyone forgets this too. Tom Brady has also had a crap ton of good defenses, and that's the other thing. Everyone wants to be like, it's all one player. Here's my thing: if we're talking about a greatest of all time statistic, I'm sorry, rings should not be mentioned here because rings are not a player statistic. That is a franchise and team statistic.
But
There are
he's
11 men on the field for a reason.
got the most wins now, right?
But again, that's not just by one player.
Most wins.
Also,
Most
his
passing
wins
yards
against
of all
the Chiefs-
time. Most
Because he's been playing
touchdowns.
for 25 years.
I get it, but he still got it, guys.
I mean, I will give you that, but I mean, Brett Favre had the same thing, but I'm also.
I mean, we're not
as a Packer
debating
fan,
whether
I'm
he
almost
should be
like,
in the Hall of
yeah.
Fame, are we? I mean, there's no doubt he should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah,
How
I'm not going to
many-
argue that.
How many touchdowns would have Marino won if his team cheated nonstop? If Miami would have cheated nonstop, Marino would have 7. But instead, they played fair ball and lost all.
I mean, that's
You
my
know?
next thing, too. Everyone wants to be like, rings are like the only thing. It's like, really? You think Joe Flacco is a better quarterback than Dan Marino all time?
Yeah.
Or do you think that
Or Trent
Kyle
Dilford.
Bowler is a better quarterback than Dan Marino all time? Or here's
Or
the next
that
thing. Do you think Eli Manning
Joe
is
Flacco's better
Dan Marino?
than Fran Tarkenton of all time.
I mean, like I said, Eli Manning, he had 2 rings. Would you rate him above Dan Marino?
Not me.
I barely even watched Marino play, and I couldn't do that.
How many wins does Phil Simms have? 2 or 3? Phil Simms wasn't that great. He may
Sims,
have
I'm
got
not
one.
sure.
He may have got his 3rd one, but he was sitting behind Hostetler.
But if we're gonna go caliber,
I think he was
caliber,
injured.
Okay, same argument. Joe Montana, Marino. How many rings Montana got? And I think Montana's a better quarterback.
I don't know if he was.
Montana also played in a
Marino-
sport where there wasn't so much of this.
I mean, I
two-hand
love-
touch crap.
I love Montana, but he still had wonderful. He had the best receiver of all time.
Well, yeah,
And
Jerry
then-
Rice and Clark and
Yeah, and Taylor. I mean,
Taylor, yeah,
he had some great receivers.
and a mean defense.
But he did go to Kansas City his last year, won the division, was amazing, and all of his receivers sucked in Kansas City. So it was that stupid AstroTurf that gave him the concussion and knocked him out. And Kansas City pulled the AstroTurf up, put in turf or grass, and he never came back. But I'm glad we have grass. Outdoor fields don't need to be AstroTurf. It's stupid. But that's just my opinion.
Tampa Town.
Boy,
what's
we're really
going on?
talking football, guys.
Well, I mean, we're getting close to playoff time, so we're getting excited now. It's that time of year.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, now speaking of Super Bowl, how many actual NFL Super Bowl contenders do you guys think there are? Personally, I think just 4. I think there's playoff teams and then there's Super Bowl contenders. And I think Super Bowl contenders, there's just 4.
And I'm
Well,
sure
and
you're going to say Kansas City,
Yes.
Philadelphia.
If Jalen Hurts' shoulder isn't too bad.
Right. If Jalen's out, I'm sorry. They got no chance.
Yeah.
That
And then
defense
you and
doesn't
I are
mean
going to
that for
probably
Philadelphia, though,
differ.
either.
So
Buffalo.
I still consider my Vikings a competitor
Oh.
this year.
I think the Vikings are a competitor. I think the Vikings could be the
I
best
will
team in the
credit the
NFC.
Vikings this. Good teams find a way to win. And you know what? The Vikings, yeah, they keep getting in all these close
And
games.
our defense,
but
if you
they
guys have
find a
been
way to win.
noticing, the opponents, the last few weeks, their defense has been holding them down. Not like they were earlier in the year where we were getting scorched. But, and then
Miss
Ed.
Frank.
another dark horse that has a real good shot, obviously, is the Chiefs. And then, I'm sorry, the other person in your division, I think, they got both of the receivers back, whom they have not had on the same field the entire year together. With Williams, or maybe week 1, Williams and Allen. With Herbert, I think they have a pretty good shot. And they got Ellis as their tight end now.
The Chargers always find a way to shoot themselves in the foot, though. I'll never put faith in them.
I'm saying I would consider them the dark horse of the playoffs right there.
They need somebody to knock Kansas City off. For
That
them
could
to
happen
really
this
go.
year, Ed. That could. I'm going to tell you something else. Don't sleep on the Bengals, man.
No, the Bengals to me are the main dark horse. For a while, they were sitting around 500, and they're kind of getting hot right now too. But no one's talking about them because of what the Niners' whole story is.
They've beat my Chiefs 3 times in 1 year now. So,
Those
of
guys
course,
are
it's bad
tough.
reffing.
They got a
They
good
beat us
D.
legitimate in 1, and the other 2 I thought was crap.
We should get on fish for a moment, though, because look at that gorgeous fish tank behind Austin. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I see a rainbow there, the Bosemani.
Do I see silver
and I
dollars?
see the clown loaches.
Whoop.
And
Those
what
silver
else?
dollars in there?
Yep, Colombian silver dollars. Yep, got some
So
roseline
nice.
sharks in there.
Are those
You got
those
some-
can't be real plants then?
They're not. I used to have real plants in there, and then when I put the silver dollars in, it's like, oh yeah, what the heck was I doing? Because this
Yeah,
thing
so
is like over half full of jungle val. I mean, the rainbow's swimming through it. I wish I had more video on
I
it.
had some
'cause-
beautiful swords in Anubius in
Yes.
that 100-gallon over there when I got a couple of my silver dollars and kept seeing like little cookie bites out of them. And I wasn't catching on. I did not realize silver dollars ate plants like that. But
Oh,
by
they
the
go
time I
nuts
figured
on
it out, it was too late. I mean, they nubbed them down. In like 3 nights, they completely destroyed my tank.
I'm sorry,
Colombian
I'm laughing
red-
at Lefty's comment there a little bit.
What did it say? Too much football talk for me. This is like when women talk about shoes. Oh my God, Lefty.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Are the Colombian silver dollars, is that another name for the Colombian redfins?
Basically, yeah, because I mean their fins are
So-
all red too, so yeah, it's pretty much the same
So
thing.
Colombian redfins, they have like a blue hue
Yeah,
to their body. They get big.
they do.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
they're
realize
already
they were
getting-
also planting. I didn't realize they were silver dollars and would eat plants. I thought they would stay about quarter size.
Okay,
Oh no, they get bigger
Austin?
than that. Silver dollars can get pretty
to
big.
your right. Oh, there
Well,
goes again.
silver
That-
dollars, yeah, but
What is that? I keep seeing
I
something
didn't know
really
silver dollars
blue.
and Colombians were the same. That's awesome.
Where'd he
to
go?
know.
I think he just went right behind your head now, Austin. What is that?
What you talking about, Kenny?
Yeah.
It's bright blue. You got like a blue fish. There he is. Right by the. You're right there. What is
Sure.
that?
Blow them up.
That right there.
Hey, blow
right
'em up.
there.
Let's try to figure out about one of my gouramis. That's probably an opaline gourami, or that's a blue gourami.
There. There. Now we
great.
can see.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see,
Clown
Oh,
loach,
yeah,
clown
this guy-
loach.
Or He has a
No, right
Oh.
there. It's right. Oh, it's a
The-
type of rainbow. I
blue
can see it
rainbow.
now. Yep, it's a
It's a
rainbow.
turquoise
Turquoise
rainbow.
rainbow.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
right there is a turquoise rainbow. Yep. Otherwise, another blue rainbow I have in here. We do have Kamaka rainbows in here too. I got a couple of them as well.
Oh, nice.
That's a nice tank.
It is very nice.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I've never had Congo Tetras. Are they plant eaters?
My Congo Tetras aren't. I got some from a swap here in Omaha, and I have them in my 125 with my angelfish community. And I mean, I got different kinds of Anubias and jungle valsinaria now and there, and they nip on it once in a while, as do the angels, but nothing like what the silver dollars do.
Well, then, because I've been playing with, I want to start a Tetra tank, and those were the two fish I was debating. And I've always loved Congos because I just love that iridescent, colors
Yes.
that they have. So if they don't eat plants, I'll probably do that.
Golly, you know what I forgot to do tonight? We got so excited about football from the beginning. We never even said hello to anybody when we came in tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry
no.
about that, guys. Hello to everyone.
Especially Mrs. Frank.
And Shelby's in here. Peplin's in here. Peplin, I hope you're getting the feeling better, buddy. He's been down with that
no.
bug, the nasty bug that goes around. M&C Aquatics,
Roxy.
welcome, bud. And Xanadu, Skull, and no, I do not have the baddest Pokemon cards. I despise that game.
Oh,
But he plays it every week.
I don't play it.
Well, you
Chaperone
assist.
Miss Danny while she's playing it, but I don't play it.
Hmm.
I'm usually either on somebody's stream or I'm in that chat once in a while that everybody gets together on Tuesday nights too, and I'll go in there and hang out with them.
Oh, look, it's Danny.
You hear her pathetic
Sad face because he doesn't play.
Says I don't play.
Did she say that you have a dog face because you
No,
don't
she
play?
says I have a sad face because he won't play. She says I'm supposed to have a friend named Lefty that's supposed to play with me, and he never plays with her.
Oh,
He's in the chat tonight too, honey.
I made him a Pokemon and he's never even taken it out of the box.
Danny plays with
keep
hers all the
preserving it
time.
then.
Let's see if I can find this Pokemon.
I've always collected
made
the
it.
cards, and that's something I still do once in a while, but I've never played the game myself. I just always collect the cards just because I like them. Oh, it's a Pikachu!
I got Danny a Pokemon also. And I got her a cute Pikachu. The one I made for Lefty is a chewed up Pikachu.
Chewed up Pikachu.
Yeah, it's a scary Pikachu.
Post-traumatic ward Pikachu.
Oh
I made
my
a
goodness.
Yeah, it's a nightmare Pikachu.
There you go.
I'll try to find it.
Battle-tested
Guys-
Pikachu.
Talk about something entertaining. Oh, here it is.
Oh my goodness.
Yikes.
See, look, his ears chewed up.
Oh Lord.
You ain't kidding.
That's
No, I take back my words. I'm with you. That's a nightmare Pikachu.
I don't want to
And
hear
I
Lefty
had a-
talk any more crap about our football, dude, if that's what you're into. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Gracious.
Lefty's into the tough stuff. There's TJ Autocross.
What's up, TJ and Miss Nona?
And Shelby, did you see my second shrimp? Or my third shrimp? I made this one afterwards on Shanna's show that was right after mine. But look, it's got the light stripe down its back. Okay, that's it. Nobody cares that much.
Anybody
Go back to
wanna-
Austin.
I am.
Everybody's
I'm
here to see Austin. Okay.
Of course they are. We've been trying to get Mr. Fantastic up here for how long?
Oh man,
I mean,
know,
yeah, you got a
we
sports
should.
stream and you haven't had the sports reporter for a while. But granted, well, my schedule, one of the sports reporter is kind of nuts. Fortunately, this is a very quiet time for us.
What about
You
the
got-
week before Super Bowl? Is that a slow week?
Nah, because well, our paper has a lot more like high school stuff and that going on. So obviously, right now we're still on the holiday break until like after the new year comes in and such. I think this coming Tuesday is when things will really start clicking again here, and we'll get busy again. But yeah, usually about Christmas and all that, we get about 2 weeks of really slow time, and then the summer really slows down because at least here in Iowa, the only two sports we cover in the summer is baseball and softball. And unlike some other states out there, they don't have like a Legion thing. It's just actual high school stuff that goes on through like May, June, and until like middle July or something. And then there's like a month where literally we have almost nothing.
Nice.
But all the other years, I mean, I'd say about 10 to 10 and a half of the years throughout the year, it's usually a pretty fast-paced gig. I guess depending on how many teams go to state tournaments and such, though, too.
Oh. What have you ever heard how they say in the South that's where they all know how to play football and that's where the real high school football is?
Well, from a person that covered Texas high school football for a couple of years, I can tell you now, Texas is not lying when they say that. I mean, I definitely think that Iowa has its fair share of athletes too.
Oh. Well, every state has some, and I think Texas does go way, because I mean, like the high school I went to, we had professional coaches that only coached, but not many teams do that, or schools. But the school here in Hickson, Tennessee, where my nephew went, it is the worst, embarrassing football I have ever seen in my life. When they made the playoffs at 4-6, and they came out on the field. You know how teams come out and they do exercises? They do either a circle or lines or something.
Mm-hmm.
They all just wander around like chickens, and they do this thing where they do this with their backs bent over, and they just all walk in circles for 10 minutes. Nobody talks to anybody. That's all they do for a stretch out is this. My sister says it's pushing chickens. I say it's rolling a bowling ball. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then the coach, he has about 70 kids on the squad, and some are big and everything. He only plays 14. Only 14 will see the field. He only rotates like 2 or 3 kids. Oh, it's the stupidest football I have ever seen in my life, and I can't believe that there was 4 teams they were able to beat. But I did see a really funny thing. One of the teams that they beat, 2 of the kids were running off the field at the same time, and they hit each other, and one kid fell over, and he broke his neck.
Ooh.
What?
Yeah, he was paralyzed, and they had to come and get him, and I know that sounds terrible. But
I say now I feel terrible for laughing. Oh, no.
So funny because they're running off the field as fast. One's running off the field, and the other one's running on the field as fast as they could because they're down on like the 10-yard line, and they collide at the 45.
Ooh.
And they just hit so hard, and the one kid falls over, and everybody's laughing, but he stays down, and he was down for a half hour. And the high school doesn't keep an ambulance. Every high school I've ever been to keeps ambulances there.
That's
for
actually I know in most states it's by law there has to be one.
I say here in Iowa, it's a law. They have to.
They made the parents call the ambulance. The parents had to come down on the field and call the ambulance. It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that could actually be a lawsuit in the making right there.
Say of all the sports too, football, you got to have an ambulance because I mean, it's arguably, other than maybe hockey or rugby, it's probably the most physical sport out there. Because you're literally having people just charging at each other and launching their bodies at each other. It's of all the sports out there, it's probably the sport where you're most likely to, have injuries or let alone serious injuries. So I can't
Yeah,
Well,
believe
you
that they
move a
don't-
person the wrong way, you could paralyze them. It could happen.
Yeah.
I played and coached high school hockey and, well, I didn't coach football, but I played football. And football's so much more dangerous than hockey because hockey's you're so completely equipped. Now, once you take that face shield off and you can get hit in the face with a puck, it changes the game up. But really, the checks and stuff, you're always off. Everybody's always off balanced in hockey.
That's
So
true. That's
if
true.
you were running and you hit somebody against the boards, you'd have so much more friction, you would get hurt. But normally, you don't have the leverage to really hurt people. The worst I ever had was one of my kids got his skin of his elbow stuck between the glass, because you know how the
Yeah.
rimless glass is, and it just ripped like a perfect diamond or cut a diamond of skin off his elbow, and he was
Dang.
wearing his elbow pads, and I'm like, why weren't you wearing your elbow pads, because that's a penalty? And he was like, I am. But somehow when he hit it, but that was the worst injury I had coaching or while I was playing that I ever saw. But in football, I saw kids tear their ACLs, break arms and wrists and stuff. So
It kind of makes me wonder how that doesn't happen more in rugby too, or maybe you just don't
Yeah.
hear about it as much because rugby's almost like football, just minus the pads and helmet. So
I don't think there's enough people playing rugby versus football, because I think if you have 100,000 kids playing football, you probably have 2,000 playing rugby. Would be
Well,
my
and a lot
guess.
of things too. A lot of rugby players end up converting to the NFL.
Oh, and I'm not saying anything bad about rugby. It's
Right.
just not that big in this country. You know, it's just not as it's just not as big.
I think
So-
rugby will be a sport that kind of ends up like hockey and eventually slowly grows popularity. Because I think even today, hockey's popularity still is continually to grow. I mean, I think a lot of people would agree that they prefer to watch it live versus on
I was
TV.
just gonna
I'll do
say,
either personally. But
Hockey, to me, it's live compared to on TV. I mean, live is so much
yes,
more awesome because you don't. It's impossible for the cameraman to keep up with every player. I mean, there's literally checking going on during the whole game. I mean, that you don't see, that the TV is limiting you to. You don't see the power check. It throws a guy and damn near knocks him out when
right.
they were just doing plays over there, you know. Yeah, I've been to hockey several times live, and I just once right on the glass. I mean, it's awesome to watch in person. It really is.
I mean,
it's a ton of fun to play too. Boy, it's the most fun thing to do, and it was my favorite game I ever played.
it is a fun game though.
I told the story just yesterday why I gave up ice hockey was as soon as I was out of high school, you get rid of your cage because you know you're a man now. And I was wearing I hurt my eye playing football, and I bent my cornea in my eye playing football. I sacked the quarterback and there was a sprinkler head in the field, and it jammed into my eye and made my eye swell up, and the swelling caused my cornea to bend. And so I used to have to wear pretty thick glasses, and every year it would get better. It was weird. But and then I had surgery, so it's all better now. But I used to wear those Kareem Abdul-Jabbar glasses or Horace Grant, you know, the big rubber coated
Like
plastic.
almost look like goggles, sort of.
Yeah. Well, I took a slap shot from a puck right between the eyes,
Ooh,
and they broke apart like this.
Oh wow!
And if I wasn't wearing those, I would have probably had a broken eye socket or, you know, a shattered face of some sort. So
yeah, those pucks,
I
they
decided-
ain't tough, especially when they get frozen and cold. They hurt.
yeah, and they freeze hockey pucks, so they slide better. So you literally freeze your pucks before you play. But yeah, I quit. That was my last season because I was like, I owned a photo studio at that time. I'm like, my eyes are my job. I can't afford,
Right.
you know. I mean, luckily I just had black eyes from that, but I could have been a lot worse if it wasn't for those goggles. And so then I just started playing roller hockey, and It's a lot more safe
Roller
and a lot
hockey.
more fun. Well, not a lot more fun. Well, I actually think roller hockey's more fun because it's faster. That's just me.
Salient Aquatics, this is your first live stream with the Daniken and us crew. This is our Friday night. We talk fish and football. So it's a little different than a lot of the other streams you're used to being in. But all of us do actual fish-related streams. Mine's Sundays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Then we got Austin. Yours is Monday at what time?
5 p.m. Central.
5 p.m. Central. And then he's got like tons of different.
Well, but my main time, because I'm on a lot of other people's channel, my time is 9:30 to 11 on Thursday nights.
But is that always on every? I thought. So are you on Rico's channel when you're doing the Rico and the man? And
Well, Rico gave that up because he just can't handle staying up that late. It was making him sick. So we don't do Rico and the man anymore. And Skipper's been taken over. I used to do, well, actually, James and I, we started at 1 o'clock in the morning. We called it the nocturnal feeding. And then as people will drop off on Thursday nights, then he took over a show, or he made his own show, and I don't know what he called it. And then I took the nocturnal feeding name. And we've just been moving down. And now I gave the nocturnal feeding name basically to Skipper, and he's going after me now. So that's pretty cool. But right now, I don't know if you guys have heard, James totally announced it, but his internet just sucks where he moved. You know, it's going to take him a while to get good internet out there. So he's going to try to do one every other week because all he has is his mobile phone. And like last night, he looked great and he sounded good, but he couldn't hear Rico and I whatsoever. We were 10 seconds delayed. And so everybody was like, why isn't Ed or Rico saying anything? It's like, if we did, we'd talk over him. So I think what we'll do is I'll probably just be Vanna White during his shows until he gets good internet. And I'll hold, like, if he says net, I'll try to have a net and hold it because I always like to have lots of props. And so that's what we'll probably do. And then I'm going to be having fun people coming up while James is out because he just has so much whatever it's called on his cell phone.
data.
And so I had Shelby on last week or yesterday, and we made these. And next week Shelby's coming back, so that was super awesome. The week before that we had Depths Unknown. So yeah, it's just kind of fun, and I'm just gonna keep lining up some fun people to come up. I don't want to say any names because in case they decide not to come up. But I think one of them's in chat, or he was, so hopefully he'll come up when he gets, I get the opportunity to have him. But yeah, it's fun.
That's another guy we should have had up this year. The coach plays there. I don't know if you remember Catfish Terry. That's his boy. And his channel, he actually does.
The coach.
He's actually a football coach too. I can't remember what grade he is coaching, but
you know what? I bet he needs to quit. Yeah, he's probably coaching in Nashville or well, oh gosh, I can't think of the name of that main town. But quit that place and come to Hickson because they need a real coach. And I'll come and I'll help you, coach. I mean, I've been offered by a lot of other guys in Missouri to be their defensive coordinator, but I mean, I'll do anything. I'll be an offensive line coach. I'll do anything because, man, Hickson needs help. Boy, it needs help.
Yeah, but he does his show. He's a huge Tennessee Titan fan, so he does a show where he's basically commentating what he's seeing while it's playing. He doesn't. I guess you can't show the game on YouTube, right? While it's going on, you can talk about it, but I don't think you can actually show it.
I don't know.
So anyway, that's what he's doing. So it's fun if you're watching the same game he's commentating because you can hear his commentary and it's definitely Tennessee biased. But like I'm sure he did not enjoy the game last night. I'm sure of it.
Well, Tennessee's playing right now, and when I left, they were winning 14-3 over Clemson.
Clemson too.
Yep. You're talking about Tennessee College.
Yeah, like the Volunteers, not the Titans.
Oh,
I'm talking
Yeah,
the
the
Titans played last night.
yeah. That was a bummer.
I couldn't believe it that Tennessee got whomped as big as they did against South Carolina. I thought for sure after the way they played against Alabama and the way they beat Kentucky, I thought for sure they were a playoff team.
Yeah.
But you
I
can't
did
lose
too.
2 games and get in, though.
Nope. And it's probably because I started cheering for him. I mean, it's like the Chiefs used to always be really good and then they would lose the big games or the important game that they should win. And so it's kind of my life story. And I think the best thing that ever happened to the Chiefs is I moved out of Missouri. So, yeah.
I think everybody here in Iowa, or at least in Council Bluffs, everybody's rooting on TCU because of Max Duggan, the quarterback, who's actually from Council Bluffs, actually. He played
That's
his
awesome.
high school football days at Lewis Central, which is one of the schools here in Council Bluffs. So it's almost like the whole state of Iowa has been rooting on TCU. I would love nothing more than to see them beat Michigan, but I hope I'm wrong. I don't see it. I would love to see TCU and Ohio State go at it against each other, but I don't know. I feel like the likelihood of that is slim to, I don't want to say none, but slim to very, very slim.
Well, we'll be rooting for him. But yeah,
Trying
that's
to-
just
Trying to see who is
And-
behind us tonight.
Big Tank Hank. I think he has Josh from not Ironheads,
Metalhead?
Metalheads.
I thought that was on Monday, though. I thought he did that on Monday.
I saw a thing beforehand, but I didn't look at the time. I just saw Big Tank Hank and
Yeah, I don't see nothing scheduled here.
oh well.
I think it's crazy, though, that of all the Texas universities, though, TCU is the first college out of Texas to make the college football playoff.
Oh my gosh, I've been rooting for him.
Because, I mean, you think about it, A&M, the Longhorns, Baylor, I mean, all them that have been right up there recently. And, yeah, TCU is the first Texas university to get in the playoff. Although I'm kind of happy it's not Texas, though, because, well, I'm not all that big of a fan of the Horns. And I don't know, their fan base, I should say some of their fan base, because in the end, look, every fan base has those fans. But I don't know, with Texas, I'm one of those where it's like, okay, football, what have you done since Colt McCoy was no longer your quarterback? Or in basketball, what have they all really accomplished since Kevin Durant went to the league? They maybe had one Sweet 16 or something. I don't know.
Well, this is the most college football I've watched in my whole life. And I mean, this is a college football state, and I live in Chattanooga, which doesn't have a pro team. I do get to hear about the Titans and Atlanta all the time because they're both about an hour and a half drive for me, maybe almost 2 hours to Nashville, but I live on the north side, so I don't know. But I have watched so much college because I grew up in Kansas City and St. Louis. So Mizzou has been notoriously horrible for decades. I mean, they've had a few good years, and then KU was just god awful. I used to go to KU games even because my best friend's mom was a professor there, so she would drop us off and give us like $1 each to buy a hot dog and a pop, and just dated myself there, didn't I? But and I'd watch the game there, and KU would get stomped like 50-0. So
There's Craig Donegal. Craig, I had your stream loaded. It was just about to drop it in the chat to send people to see your cool fish when we're off. Now I see he's in here, so he must not be live anymore.
Uh-oh.
Craig's a cool guy. Oh, speaking of Australians, I thought I met one today.
Oh.
Well, my pharmacy tech that I was dealing with, okay, I did all my business. And I'm like, are you an Aussie? Because I was like, maybe she's a Kiwi. And she said she was from England. And I was like, what? Your accent does not sound like it's English. And she said she's lived in the South for 10 years. So apparently, if an English person moves to the south for a decade, they end up sounding like an Australian.
Who knew?
Isn't that weird?
I mean, I guess when you think about it, Australia for the longest time was also an Australian, or not, good Lord. Australia was a British, like, I don't know if territory is the correct word. I don't think colony is the right one either, but
it was part of
it was governed basically by it. Because, I mean, if you look at their nation's flag too, it's got like a little miniature UK flag in it.
Yeah, it was part of the Commonwealth.
Mm-hmm. Commonwealth. There you go.
They were a penal colony originally for England, which, boy, that's a pretty good way to get rid of your prisoners. Put them send them all the way to the other side of the world. And I'm sure they were sending political, people there too that would, go probably against the monarchy and stuff. They're trying to get rid of anybody that would be tough against them. So they were sending them to Australia. And I think the Australians won out on that deal. Nothing personal, Debbie and Sharpie,
I'll tell you what, man. Me and Danny are starting to get stoked because we're less than a year away now. We're going to go over there and probably going to go I'm hoping for 3 weeks, but I'll be happy with 2. But going to go see a bunch of the Fish fam over in Australia.
That'll be
see
so.
the Australia
Are you going to
while you're there?
Are you going to do that? The Australian Zoo?
Oh, yeah. You're there. You have to. Because I know it's a fact. I'll never see it again. This will probably be a one. That's it. This is what we should have done in our younger years, man. I mean, I think, what is it, like 17-hour flight from Portland to there?
I believe it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're in there. Well, I already told her I don't care what it costs. I'm buying the beds. I want a bed, man.
I wish that I wish to God that Steve Irwin was still alive, though, because I mean, the Australian Zoo is still so awesome and such. Because I mean, if you've seen one of his sons, I think it's Robert Irwin. I mean, he's literally a miniature version of Steve.
Oh yeah, and he's just as much in love with them as his dad.
I mean, it's literally like.
But so is the daughter.
Really, they really are. I mean, I haven't seen a daughter as much, but
the son is funny because he's got the same almost mannerisms to him.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at him too, it's literally like Steve Irwin recreated as a child. Like, it's like you can so tell that that's Steve's kid.
Now his wife is from Oregon.
Oh, really? I'm trying to remember her name.
Peggy, is it?
I
think that sounds right.
Right.
Danielle. What was Irwin's wife's name?
Oh, I thought he was trying to say it was Danielle.
No, it's not Danielle.
I'm just stupid.
I don't remember. Somebody's
Maybe
going to
one
say
is almost Jerry,
I'll just
but I didn't
Google
find
it.
Right either.
Wendy.
Scuba
Steve says Wendy.
Wendy, that's right. He's correct.
Wendy Irwin.
And I think she's from Eugene, Oregon. So,
but I mean, yeah, if you haven't ever seen Robert Irwin when he was on, I think it was the late night show of Jimmy Fallon and Kevin Hart. Oh my gosh, treat yourself and watch that one time. One, just because of what I said earlier, and you can just see Steve in Robert Irwin. 2, Kevin Hart's this responses to some of these animals when Robert's taking out like these snakes. He's got like a tarantula and such. I mean, Kevin Hart is just having none of it, and his reactions are just priceless.
He's an awesome guy too. What have you been to the San Diego Zoo, Kenny?
Oh yeah, when I was a Marine. It's been 20 plus years.
Now that one's ranked number 2 in the world, right
Is it
behind.
really?
Yeah, and do you know what number 3 is?
Brookfield.
St. Louis.
Ah.
St. Louis has the 3rd best. Well, it used to always be in the top 3, but there's a couple of really good ones I think that have popped up in Asia.
But then you definitely have to come here in the summer, Ed. I'll take you down. Well, it's about, I think it's like 3.5 hours from us. Or no, 2.5. But it's a wild safari. This is a wildlife safari. We stay in our car and the animals come right up to the car.
Well, I've been to those. That's cool. That's awesome.
And this place I've taken it is the #1 cheetah breeder in the world.
Scuba Stevo. Oh man, he's saying that we should book a field trip to the St. Louis Zoo. Man, we should. It's free. I got to take all the photos of the manholes there. There was almost 400 manholes, and I got paid $60 a hole. That was a good gig. That was fun. But yeah, I would do that though with you, Kenny. That'd be awesome. I want to come visit you sometime anyway.
Yeah, we'll go down to the zoo or that wildlife center, and we'll just keep going until we hit coast and take the coast all the way back up.
And there is a beautiful zoo in Omaha where this guy got married, and it's one of my favorite zoos I've ever been to. They've got a lot of great indoor exhibits.
So, are you from Nebraska originally or up north?
Who, me?
No, Austin.
Oh,
Awesome.
well, no. I've been raised in Iowa for the majority of my life. So yeah, I've been on the Iowa side of the river most of the time, which I still am now. I'm on the Council Bluffs side, but Omaha, I've almost been there. If I've been to any other state other than Iowa just as much, it's probably been Nebraska just because of Omaha. Although, let it be known, funny enough, and Kenny will find this ironic, I was not actually born in Iowa. I was actually born in Minnesota.
Oh.
I was born in Blue Earth, Minnesota.
I'll be Dave.
Tell him where your uncle lives.
Say what, Kenny?
How'd you become a Packer fan then?
To be honest,
I'm sitting here get angry with him and talking to him, and I grew up in Illinois on the Wisconsin-Illinois border, and I'm a Vikings fan. So,
I don't know. Maybe we just see those one teams, and then when you live in that area, you hear all about them, and then you just get to the point where it's like, yeah, no.
I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid.
But I guess to answer your question, the main reason I became a Packer fan was just, my father was flipping through the channels and all that. And my father is actually a Saints fan, which is really weird because he was actually born in Hawaii, of all places.
Oh, no kidding.
And my mother was born in Louisiana, though, and she's not a Saints fan. She could actually give a who about the NFL. But I always grew up my dad flipped through channels one time. He saw it was like Green Bay versus, I want to say it was like Green Bay versus, I think it was Detroit or something. And it was like a game where Brett Favre had a fracture in his hand or one of his fingers and all that. He just taped up his hand. He went out there and I think still slung it for 300 yards and such. And I don't know, still playing Pee Wee football at the time. It's like, man, I wish I was tough as that guy. And I just kept watching, and it just kind of stuck, I guess.
Nice.
He also has an uncle in Minnesota that likes angelfish.
Oh, really?
Won't you? Or is it angelfish, Austin?
Yeah. If not puffers, I'm also really into angelfish too. Yeah.
Oh, I meant don't you have an uncle up there?
Hey, Oh, yeah, an uncle up in Minnesota. That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Up in the Twin Cities, actually, of all places. Yeah, too. Yeah, he used to breed angelfish a lot. I don't think he does that so much anymore. He's more of a plant guru now. And anything that I've learned about plants has pretty much come from that guy. I've learned from other people too as well. But I get a lot of plants that I have down here too. And yeah, he's just.
I'm sorry. It just tickled me. This guy's going to say, everything I know about plants, all is because that guy, I got nothing but plastic plants behind me.
I thought about saying that too, but I didn't.
I love it, dude.
He didn't tell me about the silver dollars, damn it.
Yeah.
I
know. I learned. I know. I wasn't even thinking about it too when I got silver dollars. Ed and Kenny, maybe you know about them too, but actually, I got the silver dollars from Blue Dog Aquatics, which is the newest store here in Omaha.
Oh,
he
yeah,
also does a lot of reptiles too. But it was like the second or third day where just when his store was open, I was really looking for something that I want to buy something from his store, to support this guy. And I don't know, I just always looked at my 240, with all these gouramis, with all these rainbow fish and such. I mean, clown loaches and such in here. It's like, shoot, I got all these fish with all these vibrant colors. I want something that's, more basic, that has more of a
But the
metallic
thing
look, and
is,
that kind
dude,
of ties it together. And
when
I didn't
those
even
things
think
get
about the
breeding,
plants.
when they want to start firing up, they're gorgeous. Their scales almost turn a diamond. They start sparkling like
I know.
diamonds, and then they get bright red fins and like blue. They're amazing when they're
Yeah.
fired up for spawning.
Yeah, and they were mostly still that, as you said, shimmery, like silver stuff, which was still a very different look compared to everything in here. And I just felt like it was something different in here, but it still worked and tied everything together yet.
Yeah, 'cause
And
they're,
then I
they're
totally forgot
not
about the
aggressive
colorful, yeah,
at
they're
all.
like
I mean,
plants.
you can pretty much keep them with anything. They don't pick on nothing. I wouldn't want to keep them with anything that might fit in their mouth, but because I have seen mine take out some stuff.
Do you know how that pet store got its name, Blue Dog Aquatics? It's a great story.
Yes, James actually told me about that, like about him being like veteran and all that, and the dog they actually named Blue Dog, and then taking like I think it was a grenade or something. I mean, it's a sad story, but it's really cool that they make a tribute to it.
He was in Afghanistan, I think, and he was with a bunch of his guys in a building, and they threw a grenade through the window, and they had a dog named Blue that grabbed the grenade and ran out and saved all the soldiers. And he named his store after the dog that saved his life. That's awesome.
Yep.
Military dogs are cool.
Oh, dogs in general are cool.
Thank you for your service,
Leave
Kenny.
leave my birthday twin alone, Ed and Kenny. So you must share the same birthday as Scuba Steve, Austin.
I also see Cat Hair across there saying, and back on our Irwin thing earlier, that apparently the wife's name is Terry.
Oh.
I say Sherry sounds close, but I didn't think that sounded right either. It's like
Terry's it.
it's something with a like RRI at the end. I knew something like that, like that
What up?
suffix at the end.
There's Vinay. What's up, dude?
Look, there's Nico. He's sleeping. I think. Are you breathing? Yeah, he's breathing.
You always got to check sometimes.
Sometimes you just got to poke him and see if he moves. I can hear him purring the more I poke him. There he goes.
Little cat nap.
It's
I
okay
still-
for me to bother him when he's sleeping because he jumps on me in the middle of the night.
Oh,
Nico's pretty much a spoiled cat.
Yeah, he
I think it was a few weeks ago when Ed, I think it was you and Rico. I don't know if it was a craft stream or whatever, but like, I love how you guys like do that little, the little Nico approved at the beginning there with the meows and such, and then Rico just goes ham on that one there.
Yeah, he loves
The
it.
first time I saw that one, or heard that one, I can't tell you how hard I laughed on that one. It's like 12 seconds in the stream, and Rico had me dying already on that one.
It's a little different opening than other fish shows. But
then
I
just-
like it, so it works.
Yeah. And then just you right
It's-
after it gets done with it too, just like, holy cow.
That was supposed to be the end of the show instead of the beginning. But I liked it for the beginning, so I just do it. I don't care.
So the other
It's all
thing
about
Ed,
having
that's
fun.
been exciting for you in the last 3 weeks, because I've been paying attention. This guy has gained like 600 subscribers in about a month and a half. He's closing in on 3,700 already. And him and I were just back and forth to hit 3K not even a month ago. What is it, a month ago, Ed, or 2 months that we hit 3K?
I don't know for sure.
So anyway,
I'm-
guys, if you're not subscribed to Chattanooga Ed or this guy, be sure to hit them up. Both great channels. And don't judge us by this stream. We are fish geeks. We are fish. But Ed and I's dream was to one day do a stream together where we talk football, and we can still keep it on fish. But we've been wanting to do this. How many years now? It's been a while we've been talking.
At least 3. I think when we
And
first
this
started playing
guy,
fantasy
we've been
football,
on since we had the idea originally, but because he is a sports writer, it wasn't feasible. I mean, we're very lucky to have Austin here tonight. I mean,
we talked more sports than we've ever talked tonight because of Austin.
yeah,
You were
because
awesome,
Austin's here. We were trying to show our football knowledge. That's what we were doing. That's what
Yeah.
we were trying to flex our football wherewithal.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter what time of the year it is. I can always talk football. Like games can
That's
literally
awesome.
be like 4 or 5 months away. I can always talk about it.
You know, I get more excited about the draft and free agency than I do the actual football. I think
Maybe we should do a live stream during the draft.
that would be
Oh wait,
fun.
that's the first round's during my show though, because it's Thursday night.
That's perfect.
I don't know.
Yeah,
The Packers, as of late, they're especially the first round. They've made me have a couple of head scratchers here yet. I guess I didn't hate their first round this past draft, but
I'm loving
Well,
our first round.
I tell you what, back when they first drafted, when they traded up just to get Jordan Love, I got to tell you what, that was a night where, whew, let's just say I don't remember much after that. It's just like, I'll just put it this way. I kept telling my parents at that point, it's like, I told my wife I wasn't going to drink until the third day. That's not damn true. Like after that pick, I am grabbing the Crown Royal and I'm going to booze.
And then did you have to write a story about it?
No, fortunately not. I just grabbed
That's
the Wire story. Well, we call it Wire from like someone else within our like corporation that writes it. And as long as you get say like, here's who actually wrote the story, who's here they're with, you can still smack it onto the paper and stuff.
There's Maria Z.
I used to be a member of the AP, and I also did stringing, and I did photography too. Because I started off as a stringer, then a photographer, and then I started writing stories too. It's pretty fun.
It is fun. It's fast paced, but it's very fun.
Boy,
It would bring me in when there was a lot of things going on. Like I
Hi,
always
guys.
did all the county fair stuff and things like that. Or if like one time the Globetrotters went to Belleville, which was very unusual because normally they just do really big venues. And I got to do the Globetrotters, and it got picked up by about 12 different newspapers across the Midwest. And I think I got $45 for each newspaper that picked it up.
Nice.
So it was pretty cool, because when you're that was I was just starting my photography business, so I needed a little side hustle to pay the bills, and it was pretty good for the first year or so, and then I got too busy and had to give it up.
Ooh, excuse me.
Oh, am I getting contagious now, Austin, or what?
Maybe. Might be that shirt that says skull on there too. I might be allergic.
Oh, I opened myself up for that one.
Well, then again, you
before-
also might be coughing because of my jersey too.
Well, before we get
Or
off
he's
there,
apathetic.
is there anything we can talk that you'd like to bring up about your channel this month?
Well, I will say for right now, my father and I don't know exactly what the timetable on it is, but I'm currently working on getting a stand for finally getting my 510-gallon plywood tank going here, hopefully within the next
Ooh.
couple or few months here, because my Maboo puffer is starting to push about 6 inches already. He's been growing about.
Oh, wow. You got a Maboo. I didn't know that.
I do. He's only in a 40 breeder right now, so I know some people might be thinking about that, like, oh my God, what is he doing? But I also got, if the 510 can't get ready here yet too, we also got another 125 that I can set up here pretty quickly and give him a little extra space and buy a little more time if we must. I'd rather not, and just rather move him over there and just, it's the same thing like what I did with Finley, my Fahaka puffer. When I first got her, granted, this was like, I think I only had like maybe 200 subs when I moved her over or something, whatever it was. I grew her out in a 29-gallon tank before I finally moved her to her 150 here. That's something with me that I always like to do with the bigger puffers is I don't put them in the bigger tanks right away, because I feel like, I think even Corey went on something like that too, where if you put them in a big tank right away, especially with puffers that are frankly a very intelligent fish, they they can actually get stressed out if they have too much space because they're I don't know if it's like an intimidation thing or whatever, but sometimes they just do.
Yeah, we're actually bringing our Fahaka upstairs and taking them out of a 125, putting them into 75 for now, just for that reason. Plus, I think I can control the environment better when I'm seeing him at he's probably going to get spoiled rotten is what's going to happen, because then he'll be up here. He's just a fish that I think needs our everyday, where he's seeing us and touchy-feely. And
yeah, they are a fish that definitely likes attention, which is really weird because so many people think about, fish like, you put them in this big glass box, and some people, stereotypically think like, all right, you just kind of let them do their thing. Well, not all of them. There's a lot of them that are very personable. I mean, some people even with like angelfish, Oscars, I know is another very popular one. I mean, just puffers though, especially, just they're smart. I think, let's see. I got the Fahaka, the Mabu, the Abai, the Red Eyes, Amazons, Figure Eights, Green Spotteds, Arrowhead.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, because you probably like his name too, since I call him Chief. But
yeah, that's awesome.
But I mean, yeah, 8 species of puffer and such. I mean, they're all kind of the same way. They recognize you at the glass. Maybe that's just because I bring them food or whatever. But it's kind of crazy.
How did it get on me, guys?
I didn't do it.
I didn't press nothing. My hands are back here.
I was trying to hit the switch. The call it was because I think I picked up, and it was my son.
Mm-hmm.
I told my stream till about 8:30, so he must have gave me 10 minutes and then called.
Have you been bit by a puffer ever?
No, but I got very close one time with Finley. She is a very tolerant puffer, but the one thing she hates is when I'm messing with her water. I mean, if I'm putting like a siphon in there to try to touch up her substrate and all that, and like get food remains and such.
Did you see this here?
Ooh, yep.
That was from my Fahaka.
Oof.
She took a chunk and chewed me, man.
Yeah.
Was chewing the meat.
What, did it bleed?
Oh yeah. Once I got it out of the water, out of the tank, it was like I've been stuck pig almost. But
Now, remind me, Kenny, how big is your Fahaka?
She's only about like this.
So about a foot?
Did Danny save you?
He's about a foot now, probably 10 inches. No, I just came up, got some stuff on it, and wrapped it up, called it good. But you know what's funny about their teeth, though? They're so fat. It's almost like a couple of razor blades, man. I mean, it happened so fast, I didn't even feel it. But I seen she was chewing on something, and then I looked down, a big chunk of my elbow meat. Dude, it was bad. But if you know puffers, one thing you need to understand, when they start flaring their tail, they're not happy. And I didn't see the warnings. She did that like 4 times at me before it actually.
That or Finley, what she'll sometimes do if she really shows that she's upset, not just the fan the tail thing, but her eyes will like go flat. And like when she turned around and her tail fanned out, it's like, nope, it's time to go. But
yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Part of the problem too. I was too busy cleaning, getting into what I think I was planting more Val or something in there. I don't remember what I was doing that day, but yeah, I mean, he was quick. He came up behind me, just whack, got me good. Yeah,
as chubby as they look and such, you wouldn't think of puffers as fast, but I tell you what, they may not be the fastest swimming fish, but they can still move.
Well, they're stealthy too.
Yeah,
I mean, they'll sneak up on you because other fish, you almost can feel them getting that water going coming at you. They don't do that, and they can bite you in about 100 different angles.
Yeah, all I know is when Mac gets to his full size, that's a puffer that I know for sure. If I ever have to put my hands in the water there,
you better make sure.
I mean, ever since that instance of Finley, I always want to know where she's at because, I mean, now she's almost 15 inches. So, I mean, even when that happened, she was already about 12 and a half inches when that incident happened. So, I mean, she gets you just right on one of the fingers here. She could really do some damage on those. I mean, one person asked me like, with a Fahaka or Mabu, what would it be like getting bit by one of those on a finger? And I'm like, I'd imagine it'd be something like
Ooh.
putting your fingers on a bolt cutter.
Yeah. But the thing is, you're not going to feel it when it initially happens. It's going to be quick and painless. But then once it's over, but this part of your elbow is not real nervy, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So, I mean, it hurt a little bit, but it wasn't. It just
Now,
passed.
you
and
got
quit.
bit also by an eel at one time, didn't you?
That was when I was in the Marines.
Eels, I hear, can
Did that-
really hurt.
The problem is when they latch down, they don't let go, man.
Like a snake almost.
Oh, it's bad.
Was
I
it-
mean, it was a
Did
moray
they use
eel.
the inner jaws?
No,
Oh, if it was a moray eel, it had two sets of jaws.
yeah, he
That's
clamped.
true.
That
Yeah.
throat jaw that comes in, they clamp down, and they use their other one to chomp pieces.
Well, this one didn't take. It was mostly just a bunch of bites, lateral bites, but he didn't grind on me, thank God. Well, I guess he did a little bit because Danny had to work to get him off. But yeah, he got put in a bucket and took it right back down to the harbor. We were living in Hawaii at the time, and I had actually caught him while fishing. He bit my lure, and I pulled him out. Oh, that'll go good in the salt water. And
Like, okay, so look at this. See, it's got the one set of jaws, and then it's got this little set of jaws on the
dude, you're giving me
inside.
nightmares thinking about it again.
It's like the alien. So that second set of jaws comes out and chews while the other one holds down.
Ugh.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
But
it's
that
like-
that day I was
And look
watching
at
the
the
Super
top
Bowl.
show. Look at how its mouth is right here. Look at how far back the second jaw is in its throat when it's relaxed. It's inches down its throat, and then it just rubber bands up.
Mm.
Isn't that sick?
that's like alien, like almost.
It is.
Yeah, that is almost nightmare feeling. It's like 10:45 at night here for me, man.
You're gonna be dreaming of that sucker tonight.
I know it's gonna be like I'm gonna come up here with some sort of alien thing, just.
Yeah, that's. I don't want to get eaten by those. I was reading a story about this guy who is feeding eels or the same eel every day hot dogs. He'd go scuba diving or snorkeling and feed this eel hot dogs. And one day he didn't have any hot dogs, and it came up and bit some of his fingers off.
Oh God,
Dang.
Steve-O, all I can say to you is go spend 2 years on any island, and you'll understand why you get off an island. It's
Hey, Grant.
great, sexy. It's a great, sexy thing until you're actually living there, and then you realize I got 30 miles circumference. You know, you're like, oh, this is crazy. I want to hop in the car. I'm also a guy who drove across the country. You know, I mean, I need my space where I can just go. You know, you get island fever quick. What up, Grant?
Yeah.
Well, guys, it is a quarter till, almost 10 till already. So I think we'll go ahead and end the stream. I want to thank everybody for coming out. And be sure to check out this guy, 5 p.m. Central Time, Monday nights. Check out Ed. Ed, what is your new time? Because I can't figure it out still.
9:30 to 11 Central or Eastern.
Eastern, so 6:30 Pacific. Okay, that's why I've been missing you. I keep thinking it's like 7:30. I forgot you guys moved up. So, but make sure to check those guys out. See me and Miss Danny on Sunday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then also I do my member stream every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. East Pacific, high noon Eastern. So if you're a member, come on into the member stream. Anyway, guys, as always, love your fish. Make sure your team wins this weekend. Ed, you got anything for them?
Hi, Jenny Lynn.
Hi,
She's-
Jenny Lynn.
She's cleaning fish tanks, so she can't say hi back. So I thought I'd take advantage of her.
In Austin, besides your Packers, good luck this weekend.
Hmm?
I will say I hope we beat your behinds because I don't want to see you in the playoffs.
Well, I
you
don't
would
think a
be
lot of people do.
dangerous-
A lot of people are tired of seeing the Packers in the playoffs. So
Yep, yep. So as always, guys, we'll see you next time. Same place, same time.
stay fantastic.